Hey guys, hope everyone's good. It's Nolan here on Thursday, 5th of May 2022. Going to go through some charts of interest, what I'm looking at, what I think could happen. Before we do, make sure you are aware we've got non-farm payroll tomorrow, some CAD news as well. We have pound news today, which has led to the pound dropping. We had FOMC yesterday, that was fun. We've had a lot of stuff going on this week actually, but yeah, we've got one more day left of the week and we're getting no respite, as it were. We've got that USD non-farm payroll to look forward to. So be careful this week if you are trading. So let's start with Euro Swissy, which is basically the title of this video. You know, Euro Swissy back to 98, which is this level here, where we've got these tips of wicks down here. 99 possibly as well, but I am looking at this to be tested again. We've got this lovely downtrend here. This is the 2 weekly chart, as you may have spotted. If I just draw a fib, actually it could go even further than 98. I've just drawn a fib from the start of the impulse here to the bottom, little 38.2% retracement pullback. We've hit the minus 27% on the nose. Well, we had a little false break here, then it had a little bounce. It's actually finding support here at this minus 27% fib. So I'm looking for this to have another move down and come into this zone here, targeting 98. The fib suggests that this could move even lower, with this minus 61.8% fib here, which would be your, if you were using fibs as targets, this would be your first target, this would be your second one. We'll see if that happens. My interest is to see if I can trade it into this zone here, this 98.99 zone. So with that in mind, let's just have a little look at smaller time frames, because I'm obviously interested in selling this market. If I can get in a trade on a smaller time frame from up here, a sell setup, then that's going to lead to potentially a lot of pips to be made. I'll just show you what I'm seeing at the moment. Just ignore this for the moment because I will talk to you about that. We do have some resistance here around about 104, big number, and we've got price coming into that zone again, so that would be an interesting area to see if price starts to reverse. Now, just because we're in that, you know, big weekly, monthly downtrend doesn't mean that we're going to see price push down from here. We could see price break, have a little bit more of a push to the upside. Am I interested in buying then? Well, no, not really, because I'm looking at the bigger time frames, the bigger picture, because that's really where I want to be trading. You know, I want to be trading with the bigger flow of the market, because, well, there's a higher probability of me having a successful trade, and there's a high probability of making more pips than trading against the bigger flow of the market. So I will be watching 104 to see what happens around there. But if you noticed earlier on this 1 hour, I've just put this this little area of resistance here and support. As you can see, there's another area here of resistance, yes, as we push up, but I'm just going to see if, you know, if we come into that 104, I want to see if we can do this. Where are we? I want to see if we can do this, and then look for a sell setup here. You see that little more evening star pattern there. Now this is different because this is an uptrend. I wouldn't really be looking at evening stars. I'd be looking at morning stars, because a morning star is a buy setup, morning star at support. So I'd be looking for one of these, an evening star pattern here on a pullback and retest of 103.40. So right at this moment in time, there's actually nothing for me to do until that happens. So all I'm going to do it right now, is go right click, add alert, and just put in break of H1 support, because it is support now here. Okay, so if that alert goes off and we get a little retest of this zone, then that's a sell signal. And you got to think, if you could sell here, and we were going down all the way to 98. Well, let me just show you. Let me just put it on, because this is this is time frame correlation. Looking at the bigger time frame to see what it's doing, and then moving down to a smaller time frame. And when they start to align, that's when you start to trade. So sure, I mean, I don't know what is going to happen here exactly. Let's just say we got this set up here. Imagine you sold underneath that bearish candle, stop above the high. Just imagine. I mean, that's a 17 pip stop loss. I don't know how it's going to set up here, and even if it will, but let's just say it's set up like that. Then, back to 98. I mean, wow, this is just crazy percentages. Crazy percentages. But you know what? It could happen. 98, somewhere around there. We're talking 29, 30% trade based on a 1% risk. So it's a 30 to 1. So yeah, I mean, all I can say is keep your eyes on this. I'm quite excited about this trade, and I do hope that we get a setup. It could still break to the upside. Like I say, if it does, then I'm not really interested. I'll wait to start to see lower highs, lower lows on a smaller time frame. Look to trade a first lower high, and then look to potentially hold. I don't think I'd hold all of it down to 98. I'd probably, and if I just show you, we do have this rising trend line here, and we've got 102 here as an area of support. So I think it would probably be wise taking some money off there and then leaving a small portion on the table to see if we break out. And of course, if you break out, well, you can look for a pullback and you can look for an add-in trade. You may even be able to look for an add-in trade down here as we approach 102. Okay, so just this one chart, if it starts to kind of play ball with us, there could be plenty of opportunities to make some really, really decent pips. So keep your eyes on this. It looks really exciting. I just hope it plays out for us. I will leave that, I'm going to leave that arrow in just for myself as well. I've got the alert in. Like I say, nothing for me to do until then. So gold, we could see some volatility on gold tomorrow with a non-farm. I'll just show you what I'm seeing on the weekly, which is basically, you can see this area of resistance here. I've marked out weekly resistance. Price comes up, sellers come into the market. We come into that kind of 117.80 zone down here, a few false breaks, and then buyers push this up. We break through resistance. We break through this resistance as well, around about 1910 to 1916, push up, but we don't come back to retest until this weekly candle, so this week. So we're retesting this previous resistance here, which really, that should be a question mark there, because what often happens is previous resistance can become new support and vice versa. It's not guaranteed, but that's something which could happen. So we could actually see price have a little push to the upside, back up to test these highs here. And we've also got support here, as you can see. We've got these wicks, 1920 as well, maybe. Okay, you can see that all these wicks here, we could come up and test 1920 as well. So I'm interested in actually on a smaller time frame to look for buys on gold. So let's just drop down and see what we see. So look at the 4 hour. I think is there a trend line on this as well? Let's just have a little look. There's a trend line there. We've got 3 touches. Yeah, we haven't come down and touched it here. We didn't do it there either, but we still had an up move. I do like to kind of keep, as a rule, price action either all above or all below, depending on if it's an uptrend or a downtrend. But you can see it's a bullish market, and potentially on that weekly, looking for this to push up towards 1920, which is around about the tip of this wick here. These where price is finding support here. So today's daily candle, I mean, if you were going to look at today's daily candle, it would really look like, well, it's not got a cat in house chance. At the moment, this is a shooting star candle. But you know what? I've seen the market reverse literally on the flip of a coin, but overnight easily. Really depends on what happens with non-farm payroll, I think, and how the market interprets the data. But 4 hour, what I am seeing is, well, an inverse head and shoulder pattern potentially in the making. Okay, we've got potentially a left shoulder here, head, and a right shoulder. Notice where that right shoulder is at the moment. It's exactly where that left shoulder was. You can see that resistance here. So this little level here could hold, and we could start to see buyers come in. So so looking at the weekly, I am more interested in buys than sells. I'm just going to be a little bit careful with non-farm payroll. But yeah, inverse head and shoulder pattern potentially in play. And yeah, if we can get a long setup, then we could be trading this back up and potentially get a few pips out of gold as well. There's actually a little bit of resistance there. Let me just see what's here, if anything. Not really. Okay, a little false break maybe. So yeah, we could be in this like falling wedge pattern as well. So we could push even higher. But my plan is to, you know, look at that weekly and just trade it back up into this little zone here. You know, anywhere between 1910, 1920. I want to try and get some trades up into that level. So keep your eyes on that anyway. Potential inverse head and shoulder pattern. Yeah, I've got this little trend line here on the 15-minute look. If we connect that low, this is a false break. We are in an area where we could start to see buys as well. So just keep your eyes on this, because it could be a good one as well. Pound CAD, this is something that we actually traded, our members. It's been absolutely beautiful on the daily time frame. Literally some kind of ATM, as you can see, an ATM, just sell, sell, sell. If you would have yeah, just literally waiting for the price to pull back at least into this 8 moving average, then start to look for sell setups, you would have made some decent money. Last one being here, look, 1, 2, 3, evening star pattern there, boom. But this has come down now into a very interesting area. If you look on the monthly, you see these lows here. Obviously we've got this big tip of the wick right down here, but the last time it kind of came into this zone was this tip of the wick here, 1st of September 17, here August 19. We're back in a very, very interesting zone, and I can tell you that watch pound. We've had some bad news on pound today, but just watch pound. We could start to see it go bullish without going through the whole fundamentals of it. We could start to see pound go bullish, but we don't start buying pound until we see the signals. But pound CAD, interesting zone, overextended look on the monthly from the 8 moving average here. Look at all this gap. Okay, this is something I do on a daily time frame as well. If we're overextended from the ATMA on the daily or even the weekly, I look potentially for price to start to reverse and push up towards it. And yeah, this would be non different to the rest. This could be a nice little support zone. We might end up bearish this week, but watch what happens the week after, because the month after, I should say. This is the monthly candle, I do apologize. But yeah, great area to start looking for long. So it might be worth looking for some buyer options, some buying options on a smaller time frame with this monthly retracement in mind and this monthly support level. Very quickly, because I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet. NASDAQ, we are at support. One thing I've noticed on NASDAQ, which a few things in the market make me think that we're going to have a little bit of a risk on scenario, where we'll see the indexes rise, risk currencies rise. This little move here, because I often look at price action and look at how impulsive the impulses are, and when an impulse starts to get shorter, it can often mean that that trend is coming to an end, or at least a correction. But I wanted to see that we've had this move down away from the moving averages, came back into the moving averages, moved away, broke the low. But listen, we didn't break the low by that much and came straight back up to the moving averages. Now we've had a risk off day today. Now we're back down here in the interesting zone where price is finding support. This is a little bit tricky, but this could be a little box range, and we could still break through. If we break this low here, I would suggest that we are going to make further downside. But are the impulses getting shorter, and we're going to see a little push to the upside? I am looking at this in a similar way to gold, with potentially an inverse head and shoulder pattern in play. And look, that left shoulder and head are literally the same money. We're about 12,800. So I am anticipating that we will see some upside on the NASDAQ as well. Nice little bit of, is it on the daily? I can't think where it was. Did see some, this MACD divergence here. We've got lower lows. Let me just check this low here. It's round about the same. But just looking at the daily impulses, I think this could be a little bit of a inverse head and shoulder pattern, like I say. So see what happens tomorrow. Non-farm can throw things in the air a little bit. Also, one more thing is Kiwi. This is why I'm thinking risk on potentially coming into the market. Bottom of the channel there, the weekly channel, as you can see, we've had quite a few weeks of selling here. I mean, when you look at the bigger time frame, you could think that is this an impulse, and is this the flag, bullish flag? We could actually push to the top of the flag and even out again if this was a correction of this impulse here. So who knows? Impulse, correction, impulse. You don't know, do you? But certainly my interest is from looking for buy setups here and trade it to the top of this weekly channel. What's interesting, if you look at the MACD, is we've broken the low here, but look at the MACD. That momentum is really not there according to the MACD, although this is very, very bullish move. There is some definite divergence between this low, obviously low, lower low, and this low and this low here, massive. And we are at support, so I would be very, very interested in looking for this to start to reverse as well. Then we just want to keep it simple. Maybe wait for a break and retest of this high here, because that's where we last found resistance here on the 4 hour. That will be absolutely fine. But if you are selling, then potentially think about taking some profit, reducing risk, moving stop loss, etc., etc. One more thing, while I like the look of this to buy, is that looking at the weekly moving averages, again, we've got this distance between where price is and the 8 moving average. Okay, look at this. Price moves away, comes back into that 8 moving average. Each time it moves away, eventually it comes back, moves away, comes back, moves away, comes back, moves away, and we've had quite a few bearish candles here. I'm expecting this to pull back at least to this 8 moving average. So even if you wanted to take profit at this 8 moving average, there'd be nothing wrong with that as well. Trading on a smaller time frame, that'd be a nice amount of pips to take. So keep your eyes on this as well. Maybe wait till Monday. Depends how experienced you are. I'm just thinking non-farm payroll, there could be a lot of ups and downs. I don't really want to be looking to buy USD where it is, to be honest with you, and which would be if I was looking to buy this, I'd actually be selling USD, buying Kiwi and selling USD if I wanted to go along on this. So hopefully, you know, there's some things on there which are of interest to you, which you can keep an eye on and to start to see if things play out. Of course, this is just my opinion, not pretty much, you know, not everything will play out, maybe nothing at all, but when things start to play out the way you foresee them, that's when you start to get involved in the market. If the market doesn't play out according to your bias or your analysis, then simple, you either you know, stay out of that market, or you rethink your analysis and try to figure out what's actually going on. So listen guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, and we're trying to get our numbers up. We just want to get out to as many people as possible and give people this free information. We try and help traders as much as possible. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, please like the video, please share the video with any traders that you know as well who you think might be interested. So from myself and the team, have a great rest of your week, and be careful tomorrow on non-farm payroll, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.